Hey guys, finally Allegiance, the new card expansion is out, and there are so many innovations we have to explore right now. We have new keywords like Alpine and Mobilize, we have new game mechanics, we have two new factions with France and Italy, and most of all, we have 150 new cards. And in this little mini-series, we're going through all of them, faction by faction, and rate them on a 1 to 5 star base. So stay tuned. Okay guys, starting with the Germans, Rush Production will be the first card we'll take a look at. It's a 0 credit order. When you deploy a unit this turn, deal 1 damage to it and gain 1 credit. So for each unit you deploy this turn, you deal 1 damage to it and gain 1 credit back. So you technically deployed for 1 credit less. Could be a very good card in aggro decks. I mean, you weaken your units, but you can deploy more. What can also be good on units that have a special effect when they get damaged. So I think this will be a pretty decent card. I think I will rate it 3.5 out of 5 stars. Not too bad. Okay, next card we take a look at is the Adler Command Vehicle. It's a 1/1 tank with 1 credit cost and 1 credit to operate. Your other tanks operate for 1 less. Pretty strong card, and also on aggro decks. There are not too many cheap German tanks that operate for 1. I mean, Panzer 35T without an infantry could be a possible target. SDKFZ can be. But yeah, I think this will also be very strong, but not too strong. I think also 3.5 stars for this. Next card is a 1 credit order, Lurking Danger. Draw a random countermeasure from your deck. It costs 3 less this turn. Also very good card. You can play every countermeasure despite Rescue Mission, what got nerfed to 4 credit cost. All other countermeasures cost max 3. You can play it for 1 credit on this turn. What is very strong, I think. 1 credit for the draw, and then it costs nothing as long as it's 3. So even Rescue Mission would only cost you 2 on this turn. The only problem is with this card, if the opponent does not trigger your countermeasure this turn, I think this will go back to full cost. So it might be very situational, but all in all, I would also give this card 3.5 stars, I think. It's pretty strong to play a countermeasure for 1. So yeah, 3.5 stars. Panzer 2C. 1/3 tank, give a friendly non-tank unit +1 attack. Okay, it's a normal card. You can have 4 copies of it. This could be good with the rush production, because it has 1 operation cost +3 health, so this in combination with the rush production could be very strong. Plus you're also buffing another unit. Maybe a cheap Soviet unit, infantry unit with blitz. Could be quite good. Maybe I would, yeah, the tank alone is not too strong, but I think there are strong combos you can do with it. Unfortunately, this only triggers non-tank units, so yeah, maybe just 3 stars for this. But it could be strong in some sick combos, so yeah. Next card is a 1 credit countermeasure, Stranglehold. When a unit is deployed, the enemy loses remaining credits. This card is so sick. It's a special card, you can have 2 copies in your deck. The first unit your opponent plays is also the only unit your opponent plays this turn. He is losing all of his remaining credits, what is pretty strong, especially with the other German countermeasures like From the Deep, where you destroy a unit that got deployed. So your opponent always has to make a decision whether to sacrifice a cheap unit into From the Deep, but now he's risking to lose all of his remaining credits this turn into Stranglehold, what is pretty sick. And I think this card, also being good against aggro, is at least 5 stars, I think. It's pretty strong. For 1 credit, you can block your whole opponent's turn. I think this will see some play. I like this card. It's 4 stars. Okay, the next unit we have is the 141st Quebec Sega. It's a 3/3 infantry with the Alpine keyword, and it cannot be targeted by enemy orders. The Alpine keyword is new with the expansion, and it says that whenever you add a unit with the Alpine, the deployed unit gets +1/+1 for every other Alpine unit that is already on the board, for every friendly unit. So for 2 credits, a 3/3 is not too bad alone and cannot be targeted by enemy orders. Plus it has the Alpine keyword, so with just 1 other unit on the board, it already gets a 4/4. So pretty strong, I think. This card is also at least 4 stars, I think. Pretty strong. Next on the list is the Hydrilla Hs 126. And this unit gives a friendly ground unit. No, it gives all friendly ground units in the front line +1 attack. It has a 1/2 stats, what is not too bad. Could be played in very aggro decks. Yeah. 1/2 is not too good for 2 credits, but it's buffing your whole front line. Yeah, I think this will be a 3 stars card. Next is the 2 credit order joint operation. Deal damage to target enemy equal to 1 plus the number of unit types you control. Okay, this plays together with combined arms maybe. So as your more diverse your units are, the more damage you deal with this, with a minimum of 1. If you have 1 unit on board, it's 2. Yeah, maybe I will rate this 2.5 stars. It's very dependent on your board. Yeah, 1 to 2, 3 maybe. So in average, this will deal 3 damage maybe. For 2, yeah, 2.5 stars would be okay. Next is Countermeasure Retaliation, 2 credits. When your HQ receives damage, deal equal damage to the enemy HQ. Not sure about this card. It's very situational. I mean, it's only 2 credits. I mean, you can get some big hits from your opponent and give it back to him, but yeah, I think for 2 credits, it's not worth to play this card. 2 stars maybe. Then we have the Spoils of War with a new choose mechanic in it. It says choose and draw a card from the top 3 of your deck, put rest on bottom of deck. For 2 credits, you draw 1 card, but can choose from 3. What is pretty strong when you're searching for your win condition, for example, like an air blitz or some blitz tanks, or your blitzkrieg could also be good to look for. So I really like this card, and I think I'll rate it. The best thing is the cards are not gone. You just put them on the bottom of your deck, but it's not too good for an aggro deck, but they are not lost. So I think this is at least a 4-star card. Then we have the order Suppression. All enemy units in the front line have -3 attack until start of your next turn. Okay, yeah. I'm not sure about this card. I don't like those minus attacks until start of next turn, because it's not really dealing with the problem. It's just delaying a problem, so I think it's 2 stars for me. I think I would never play this card. Then we have the Flammpanzer. It's a 3/4 tank, and on deployment you destroy an enemy unit with cost 1 or less. This is the nightmare for tokens, I think. For Soviet tokens. Because for 3 credits you can destroy one of them and still have a 3/4 body on board, what is pretty good. So very good card, but yeah, very situational against weak decks. Maybe 3.5. I like the destroy deployment effect, and the stats alone are also good. So yeah, 3.5 too. Then we have the Stuk 3G 3/3 tank that ignores heavy armor and just 1 operation cost. Yeah. 3 attack, and all heavy armor tanks are mostly about 5 attacks, so yeah. Not sure if I like this card alone. 3 stars, I think. It's not bad, but it's also not good. It's on average, I think. Okay, next card on the list is the U-48. A 3 credit order that says the enemy cannot deploy units next turn. Wow. Pretty strong, I think. Especially when your opponent has a turn where he can put up some guards or something. And with this order you can just delay it 1 turn, what is pretty sick. Really excited if this card will be played, but maybe this is useful for very fast aggro decks that rely on delaying the enemy since turn 3. So maybe 4 stars. That's pretty strong. The 25th Panzergrenadier, 4 credit and 5 for stats, has guard while in the front line. Okay. It's a common card. Just 1 operation cost 4/5. I'm not sure how important guard in the front line is. A little bit. Yeah, you can protect your weak tanks, but yeah, I don't like this effect. 3 stars, I think. Should not be played a lot. Then we have the U-87B2, a 3/2 bomber that gives you a dive bombing when deployed. So for 4 credits you get a 3/2 and a dive bombing. Yeah, not a good card. I think I like this Duca with the same stats more, because it discards a card from the opponent. Dive Bombing also not a great card. Yeah, I think this might be the worst card so far. So yeah, 2 stars I think. Then we have the Panzer III-H, a 2/5 tank that lets you choose and draw a card from the top 3 of your deck and put the rest on the bottom. Similar to Spoils of War. For 2 credits more, you get a 2/5 body to your Spoils of War. So yeah, in aggro deck this might be too expensive and too slow. Also the stats are not too great for 4 credit tank. Yeah, maybe 3 stars. Could work in some decks, but this should not be the overpowered card in the expansion. 3 stars, yeah. Then we got a card that I had the pleasure to reveal. It's the Heinkel HE 219, a 4/5 fighter. When your HQ is damaged by a non-Heinkel HE 219 source, deal 1 damage to the enemy HQ. Yeah, as I already said when I revealed this card, I think it's pretty bad. The effect is not the greatest. The stats are okay, but 5 credits, it might be too slow for most of the decks. Yeah, maybe also just 2 stars in my opinion. Then we have the Hummel, 5 credit, 2/4 artillery. And on deployment, if you control a tank, target enemy unit must retreat. Wow. Yeah, first of all, 2/4 for 5k credit, for 5 credit cost is not the greatest stats you can get for that. But the deployment effect is kind of interesting. But all in all, I would also just rate this 3 stars. It's just too little stats for 5k. Then we have the Panther A, a 5/5 tank with heavy armor 1, and on deployment, the enemy does not draw a card next turn. So for 5 credit, you get a 5/5 with heavy armor 1, what is okay if this would be the effect alone, but you also deny draw for your opponent. This might be playable at least. So for me, 3.5 stars, I think. Then we only have 2 cards left. The Elite Kriegsmarine for 7 credits. Deal damage to the enemy HQ equal to cards in enemy hand. Then enemy discards a card. So the more cards your opponent has in hand, the more damage you deal. This card can be interesting with the resistance mechanic, what we will get in touch later when we get to the France cards. I'm not sure. I mean, Bismarck is 10 and deals 7 damage. This is 7 and is almost useless when your opponent is low on cards. So maybe in combination with some cards that fill up the enemy hand, this could be useful. But yeah, we will see. I think it's not too bad and not too good. Maybe also 3 stars, I think. Then we have the new Tiger, the Tiger IE. It's a 7/7, 8 credit cost tank with heavy armor 2 that cannot be targeted by enemy orders. So you have to deal with it with units or with deployment effect from units. Especially this could be a good Avenger target, for example. So I think it's better than the old Tiger that we already had, but it's still not sure if this will be so strong. because it's so weak to Avenger and other removal cards. But as I said, it's better than the common Tiger. Yeah, maybe also 3.5. Could work when your opponent is out of removal. Pretty excited. Decent card. I think 3.5 stars for this. So that's it with the German cards. I hope you liked it, and we will see us in the next video when we get to reveal the British cards. See you later.